Yes, how you doing, Mr. G?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you're looking fly.
Always. Like we have a disease of looking fly all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, how has your week been? It's been crazy, and we've had a lot of, sad moments.
This has been a very crazy week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy
like 2025. 2025 is going to be okay. You begin with fire. You guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started off, we lost one of the prominent, political personnel, Zukem, whom we saw his rise, coming up, and it was on a sad note. And it was from your hometown.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to his story, what would you say about it? Because I saw you coming out and, pledging your condolences to the family and to all the Ugandans.
I mean, it's a sad story. Whenever something happens in Kawempe, the whole community is touched. He was like one of those very, very central figures who had very unconventional ways of pushing his message forward. But nevertheless, the message, it was by any means necessary, the message must get to where it's supposed to go. And I think he has been an inspiration for so many people, not only in politics, but also in leadership. He was really, really funny, if you follow his story. But nevertheless, inspirational. And his story has touched so many people, so many Ugandans, like that. You've seen him when he was super healthy to how everything went downhill. And it wasn't a pretty picture, basically. So Kawempe was saddened on that behalf.
Yeah. And it also spirals into the LA fires. Someone commented and they were like, gee, we've lost someone. You're talking about the LA fires. Like, they don't know that you're from LA as well.
I mean, it's a double standard. There was a lot of schadenfreude there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, you can mourn two things at the same time.
Yeah.
But there's people telling you don't mourn because first we are mourning here. Some people just use it as an excuse just to put people down. But I think we are allowed to walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, yeah, we've lost property over there, right? We've lost, friends have lost, entire neighborhoods are gone. So you can be empathetic to both things, or to both places. Yeah. But I guess people don't have a connection there, so I was mourning without, but for a person from Kawempe and LA, I was mourning twice. Yeah.
And speaking about the fact that people don't really understand, could you at least paint a picture for those? Because at least I know there are probably not very few Ugandans, but very many that may not buy interest into what's really happening, because it feels like it's far-fetched since it's, a very far country. But for a person like you who has come from there and who has spent several years there, you understand the impact. So maybe if you could paint a picture for them.
Like, it's about 60 billion, 59 billion, but could be, that's the ones that has been assessed so far. Yeah. But $59 billion already gone, touched in one night. Yeah. That's just my neighborhood, around my neighborhood.
Wow.
I mean, that's people with retirement money, like old people. Very few young people live in Malibu and Palisades and whatever. These are like old communities. People have been working for the rest of their lives. There are family legacies that have been erased. There are places like the Getty Center, which have been in danger. These are places where a lot of history is archived. You get me? Yeah. So, but I get it. So many people are not connected to it. So to be Kwatako, you get me? Yeah. 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 But
then there are celebrities like Mel Gibson and Paris Hilton. Mel Gibson said it was actually a podcast while his house, he was afraid that the neighborhood, there was fire, but his house was not yet burned. But he received a call and they told him now yours is also, and Paris Hilton as well.
Because some friend of mine sent me an app that you could download and follow the fire, right? Yeah. Then I was seeing that, the fire, we are able to right? Yeah. So like, okay, we've been saved, Yeah. But like the next morning, something exploded and that was taken out too.
Yeah.
So it's like saying, oh, bangambe ntya. Because it's not like the whole city has burned down.
Yeah.
Like LA is so big.
Yeah.
But it's like saying Munyonyo and Machindye and parts of Muyenga have burned down. I think that's how to put it.
Yeah.
We're trying the direction AONT. Parts of Gaba, parts of Munyonyo, parts of Machindye, they're in that area, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because there's it next to the mass. But if to a person who has been there, who has been to on the PCH, it's like one of the most beautiful places in the world, basically.
Yeah.
But I was seeing houses of friends, and all they have left is a pole or just the stairs. You know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people had to witness it. Your house burning
Some people
down.
were there. Yeah. Some people were there. But also, I remember this is not the first time fires are happening.
Yeah.
The very first time it happened, I remember people who refused to move just to be able to save their horses.
Yeah.
You get me? And somehow, for some reason, they managed to. What's crazy is there was also time when other people who had the means hired firefighters from other states
Yeah.
to come and save their properties.
Yeah.
So, but the reason I said there was a lot of Schadenfreude there is that, and Schadenfreude is this German term which means people are happy when someone else loses something.
Yeah.
It's a German term. Whereas the opposite is Freudenfreude. Yes, where you're happy because the other person is happy, right?
Yeah.
But then there's this because you're happy because the rich people have lost, you know?
Yeah.
Have lost. So there was a lot of that, and not only from UG, but there's like most people in the whole of the US, Europeans, and whatever.
Yeah.
There's like a love-hate relationship there. But for people who have seen how beautiful and how the community is out there, it's like such a major loss. It's just a major loss. So I hope there's a remedy.
Yeah.
People are working on certain remedies, calls with lawyers, calls with people who are paying higher insurance premiums with companies that were even out of state, like even on the federal level.
Yeah.
Trying to remedy and what they could do to bring the neighborhood back.
Yeah.
I know they'll step back up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And well, some of us Ugandans who know that G is from LA as well, we sympathize with you, man, because you're away from, the country and
Ntandika okuyisa akabbo.
you're here.
Ntandika okuyisa akabbo wanene wetuli.
If your home burns from Malibu, I wonder how much people would really contribute
Even
to.
the home, but
yeah.
also the car. Mike,
You lost the car as well?
Yeah. There's a car which
Dang.
I really like.
Yeah.
Them.
I hope it's not a G-Wagon, man, because at least
Which
we
one
are
do you think
familiar. At least we are familiar with that one.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, well, to all those who lost property, we sympathize with them over there.
But the most important thing is life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then you thank God that you were not there when it was happening.
Yeah.
But there are people who, like there's some women I know, right? Like in their 60s, people really welcome you into the community and are really well-grounded and well-rounded people. Like when something happens, they feel for the whole. Yeah, but then you realize that their whole house is gone. Yeah, and I hope people find the courage to rebuild and the resources. Yeah. But it happens at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's funny because some Ugandans, I was passing through somewhere and somebody, the news was on and somebody was like, which movie is that? I need to watch it. What's the title? Because the way the fires were spinning.
Yes.
It's not something really
Do you know
common.
what's crazy though, besides the Enyumba, motorcar?
Yeah.
But like, LA has this thing where we love our palm trees.
Yeah.
Our palm trees are kuvako sparks.
Man.
And those are like years of like planting these beautiful trees.
Yeah.
Like nature has its own way of reorganizing
Isn't that the
itself.
boulevard of Sunset? How is...
No, palm trees are everywhere in LA, but mainly the West has most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sunset has like so many of them, that whole area. But Sunset is not that affected. Even Beverly Hills wasn't touched.
Yeah.
most of the fire was in Palisades, Malibu,
Yeah.
and a little bit of Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because most of us, me inclusive, will be like, certain things don't happen. Like, America is the number one. Those things, you know.
Things happen everywhere. Like, did you see what
Yeah.
happened to the people in Japan? The earthquake.
Yeah, there's
You
natural
get, like,
disasters
things
always
are
crazy.
happening all the time,
Tsunamis,
except that it's closer to home when it hits the people that you know.
Yeah,
right?
sure thing.
But there are people who have been facing tsunamis. There are people who have been facing even the early wildfires. It's the first
Yeah.
time they have like really crossed. But yeah, they have been happening, and people have been losing homes and communities. Except that this scale is like a lot larger. There have been landslides in Bali. There have been kasasiro wano yusi yatta abantu. You know? So it is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jimon Honsu, I don't know if I've mentioned his name, you know, quite clearly, but he's the actor of Blood Diamond, and he said he's still struggling financially to make a living, despite being in Hollywood for more than 20 years and featuring in big movies.
Yeah.
When somebody like that says something like that, what should someone who is aspiring, let me say from Africa, who's saying we're going Hollywood and I'm going to become rich, I'm going to make money, I'm going to be in big videos. What's the middle ground right there? Well, you who has been to LA and Hollywood specifically, you probably could give us a proper picture of how real things are there.
I don't even know how to begin to explain this, but I'd begun getting so many roles, right?
Yeah.
But I saw how much time they consumed and what I had to get to the goals that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I had to put a pause on some things.
Yeah.
Kubanga oluusi ng'otuuka nga baakita abamu obasinga amagya.
Yeah.
And I'm not bragging, but like in real life, like I'll get to some places and you get to hear people's stories and what they are going through, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, everybody writes their own story.
Yeah.
He could be struggling with that right now after being in all these movies and, you know, being married to one of the richest women of a hip hop dynasty, because for people who don't know, he was married to Kimora Lee Simmons, who was Russell Simmons, the founder of Def Jam's ex-wife.
Yeah.
So if you've been through that proximity to money and you haven't like really learned how to make money, but everybody writes their own story. I'm not blaming, I'm not pointing any fingers, but at the end of the day, hip hop tells us this thing of a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yeah.
A closed mouth never gets fed. Like, that's a Jay-Z line.
Yeah.
The second line is, you get what you bargain for.
Yeah.
You get me? Not what I don't know. There's a lot of personal responsibility that goes into this, right? Much as everybody writes their own story and the universe writes the story of everyone. When I hear that rappers are struggling, yes, there's systemic racism. It will be surprising to you that some of the richest people in Hollywood, if you're black, some of the richest people are those people who manage to lawyer rap easily, or understand the business from the get-go.
Yeah.
But you will be put in a room, they will pamper you, you'll think you're your friends, but they will be robbing you from under. You get me? A name like that should be, not only was he a model, because from following his story, he was once homeless, right?
Yeah.
Became a model, very attractive, one of those like, you know, dark, tall, which they call it dark, tall. Now he's of another level again, like, and then he has exceptional talent. Like sometimes you look at these situations and you're like, but how? Yeah?
Yeah.
But it's not the only it's not the only story we've had. If many of you know a lady called Hilary Swank, right?
Yeah.
Hilary Swank is one of those ladies who said she made her first $1 million when she played in the movie $1 Million Baby. And all of us were like, huh?
Really?
How about all these other classic movies you have?
Yeah.
She's like, I was getting along just like anybody else. I was sketching life. I was trying to put two and two together.
Yeah.
So I think everybody, you might find that Imon Honsu's break might be when he becomes a director.
Yeah.
You get me? You might find that his break might be when he owns his own movie. You get me? Like, everybody has their own experience, everybody has their own story. So if you want to go to Hollywood, you write your own script, write your own story, follow the universe, put your foot to the ground, and be you at the end of the day. Don't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Because you could hear Himon Honsu on this other one side while you're seeing a Chris Brown on this other side doing their thing. Or you could see a Rihanna this other side, and then you hear about a Taraji P on one side.
Yeah.
Or you hear about a Beyonce. But what's the difference? What we should start studying, what are the common denominators in all these stories?
Yeah.
Either your lawyers played you, so learn the business.
Yeah.
If you don't get paid up front, how about the back end?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I should say at the end of the day, I don't think acting is where most of the money is at. Nzenganza, I got a personal freedom. Like, I saw that, I got all the opportunities. But then at the end of the day, I looked back and I was like, I don't think I want to be on set for that long. Like, I can act. You get me? I can act a little bit. I'm not the best actor, but I can act. But I decided that I didn't want to be on set for that long.
Yeah.
But I can still do every other thing that I wanted to do in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
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 Write your own story, learn the contracts, learn the business, become a brand, use the brand, use your influence, and then live in your purpose.
Yeah.
Some people, unfortunately, you're not supposed to be rich, but you're here to serve a certain purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you mentioned about systemic racism.
Yes.
And, he also mentioned the same thing as he was addressing that. He said that there is probably systemic racism.
Probably, eh?
And, we've seen Taraji P come out, say the same thing. Monique, I think...
But Taraji P's situation was different than Monique's situation. For them, they claim that it's their own people who are playing puppet masters to a bigger boss.
Yeah.
I don't know how far true that is, but it was like a strange thing to watch Taraji P write a love letter to Oprah, and then about that feud that Monique has been having with Oprah, saying that she's being blackballed and all these other things. But looking at so I've also been in a situation where poor people are always complaining about a rich person. Eh?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a situation where you're like, but I never did this. How come I'm hearing all these other stories?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pointing fingers here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people accusing the system.
Yeah.
But for every artist who wants to be an artist, right?
Yeah.
Just know that this game is not easy. The world anything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are going to go against bigger monsters than you've ever faced, right?
Yeah.
You should go into the game knowing that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what saves you is your commitment, your consistency, and how well you know how to play the game. It's a game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have losers,
and
then you have winners.
Yeah.
And going into this game, you should know exactly who you are. The things you're willing to do and the things you're not willing to do. Once you know that, the game becomes much easier.
Yeah.
But if you go in and you're easily swayed to this other side, you do whatever for the money, at the end of the day, they got you.
Yeah.
If you come in and you're like, I don't do that, they'll say he's difficult to work with, but at the end of the day, you don't do that, and it will become your guiding principle in the things you allow and the things that you don't allow into your life.
Yeah.
They're called boundaries. But some people have been having careers of like 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And they have awakened to this, to the fact that they have been exploited for so long, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very hurtful thing.
Yeah.
But for some people, it might be too late to correct course. For some other people, they voice out and call out people, they whistle blow, so they can protect the generation after them. So even for us, sometimes we are from the outside looking in, and then you're from the inside looking at all the crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
You get me? So it's a very, very, very complicated game. And I thought this thing was only in the creative business, but now it's in every business you're ever going to go to.
Yeah.
Every business you're ever going to go to. You're going to find dirty politicians. You're going to find, even in the fashion industry, you might import all your clothes, you've done all the ethical steps, you've only employed old people. Because but the mafia might take your merchandise while it's on at sea, and no government can save you.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like there's so many monsters, there's so many angles in which a person can get exploited. But at the end of the day, how much information do you have? How well do you network? Lawyers are also shady. They're always in bed with each other. At the end of the day, this is a very complicated animal that even Michael Jackson, at his level, was fighting his own monsters.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, like, couldn't deal with the pressure. She had to go into drugs.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very complicated game being in the music industry. For me, my dad, when I was getting in the music industry, first one B said, industry joyingidemu nga mulimu abantu bangi nnyo abataasoma ate abantu bataasoma kizibu okureasoninga nabo. And I was like, wow, daddy, for me I'm going to change the game bichi. But like some 10 years in, I was like, oh my God. Anyway, industry gye tulimu, and I'm there with this guy kind of person that I have to deal with them.
Yeah.
With all these other things, whether you want to or not, it's the nature of life.
Basically, you have to coexist.
Yeah, but then there are people you realize who have played the game so well.
Yeah.
That there's no dirt on their name. They have remained with their principles. They have only grown in their art, and you're like, how did this person do that? Those are the people you need to study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Let me flip your hair. This one. This one comes to the mic. There is one that is here.
Which one is that? Mwabaine biwalata benumia
Okay.
Lumia baine biwalata. Flip some hair.
I don't know why the dread does that. Those goes
Long hair.
It is?
Eh.
and they get, like the producer says, like, there's that sound on the mic, like shh.
Like it's a dread.
Yeah, because I can hear it.
Natty dread, yeah.
Okay, so the Billboard Top Rappers of the 21st Century,
Yes.
was released, and guess who the number one rapper?
I saw it.
Yeah. So, of course, Drake took number one. And I want you to tell me your take on this list. I'm just going to mention the top 10. Yeah, so it was Drake number one. Number two was Eminem, Ye, Kanye West. Then Nelly, number 4. Then number 5 was Jay-Z. Number 6 was Lil Wayne. 7, 50 Cent. Kendrick was number 8. Then Nicki was number 9. And Ludacris was number 10. So I want you to tell me how it feels to see
I don't
Kendrick.
even know where to start.
To see Kendrick at number 8.
This is like a very, very loaded question. There are like so many angles to it. It's like a cluster bomb. First of all, put some respect on Nelly's name. I saw you saying Nelly. Put respect on Nelly's name.
But Nelly over 50? Wayne? Jay-Z? Really?
Nelly, there was a time when Nelly sold double platinum every time he came through. He did that. Like, whether you like it or not. Actually, Nelly is the father of all these rappers who rap while singing. Do you know that?
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I didn't know
I
that.
thought you were going to Kuwakana.
No, I didn't know that.
But he was the first rapper to actually really do that and be successful at it.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, when he became like a pop star, everybody began emulating that. Even Ja Rule wali yakopa DMX, but he also began doing the Nelly thing.
Yeah.
50 Cent, your guy, recently admitted that he was copying.
Yeah, it's
When he was
getting hot in here.
Yeah, he was copying It's Getting Hot in Here. All of them were... Nelly is a blueprint, actually. He's a Saint Lunatic that really made it popular. And because I think good looks helped, he had a good body, he was athletic. Like, he made so many things happen. But going to that list, now let me speak as a rapper. As a rapper, congratulations, Drake. Wow. Number 1, Billboard. Guy Wangoli Wakabi. Now let me speak as a hip-hop artist. What the fuck is this shit? As a hip-hop artist, like, really?
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z has a line where he says, we used to look at Billboard when we were young. Now I look at Billboard like, is you dumb? You get me? Like, every time I look at that, I looked at that list and I was like, okay, this is the representation they have for hip-hop out there in the pop culture.
Yeah.
But nowadays, when I look at magazines and I look at articles, I understand one thing which is happening in the world. I don't know if you guys noticed this as well.
Yeah.
There's something called outrage marketing.
Yeah.
Outrage marketing is where I say something which I know to be false,
Yeah.
but I know I'm going to get people angry about it.
Yeah.
Most brands use it, like Gucci used it to promote a certain kind of clothing where they dressed up this black boy in some clothes, then they said the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
Like implying like he's a monkey or something. But because they knew black people would see that and be so angry, but at the end of the day, the whole of Twitter is lit talking about Gucci.
Yeah.
And Gucci, okay, black people buy our clothes, but most of our clientele is white. And they don't give a fuck about racism. So there's outrage marketing at the end of the day where I could come up and say something ridiculous, you'll get pissed off about it, but my name is going to be trending.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Billboard did with that list.
But I think they said it's always about
based on
sales and
then they should have Juvenile there too.
Yeah.
If it's about sales. Was Snoop there?
Snoop wasn't.
Okay. But Kendrick was there.
Yeah, Kendrick was there.
How many albums does Snoop have that are platinum versus Kendrick's? You get me? You get what I'm talking about? Snoop sold albums when they were physical. As in, you'd have to go and buy it. You can't compare that with a person who buys streams. We live in this world where everybody thinks these numbers are real. These numbers are fake as F. I have people who cannot even feel their mother's veranda, having 1 million followers. And then there are people, ngatainayo what the Twitter account, what kind of Twitter account here, or even their Instagram has 8,000. But these people are like worth a stadium. Or chirava.
Yeah.
So we live in a generation where numbers lie. You say men lie, women lie, numbers. Maybe comedy. Nowadays numbers lie. Actually, numbers are used to tell the biggest lies now.
Those artists here, they have a huge following, but then end up not filling even the smallest stadiums or, of fans.
Jay-Z again has another line. Actually, Jay-Z at this point should be a philosopher. The way we quote Socrates, Aristotle, we should go to Jay-Z and Nas because they have the best social commentary for me when it comes to the game.
Yeah.
So he has this line where he says, I don't have 1 billion streams, I got $1 billion.
Yeah.
But most people in this era value how many streams and how many hits they have over how much you have.
Yeah.
There's a video I saw of a popular influencer. She took her friend to where she actually stays.
Yeah.
And her mattress was on the floor. She was in this 1-bedroom thing in New York. And she's like, but I see you on trips. As like, auntie, that's influence. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I want to live a life where I call people to my compound, they shoot a video in the same clothes I'm wearing and go away.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what's really real. And it also reminds me of how Ugandan charts are. Like you can look at Ugandan artists and they're like, they have a #1 song, they have A, B, C, and D, they have been on the chart for so long. But Bra is suffering at the end of the day. So to me, that's Billboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because on very many occasions, we call the music industry a game.
It is a game.
It's a game, just like politics. Okay, politics. Politics, they say it's a dirty game. At least I think the music industry should also add that, a dirty game. Because we recently saw Obama and Trump talking before Jimmy Carter's funeral.
There's a guy who's more like my mentor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He tells me the movie industry is bad.
Yeah.
But the music industry is evil. It's like straight up evil.
Yeah.
You know, like those movies are bad, but it's like you guys in the music industry, it's like straight evil.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recently, I don't know if you've seen the clip where Obama and Trump were sharing a moment before, Jimmy Carter's funeral, the 39th president, U.S. president.
I'm so
who passed last year.
I'm so bad with news that I didn't even know what that was. That's what it was? Jimmy Carter had passed away?
Yeah, the 39th president. And He died on December 29th. That's last year.
Do you know you're actually giving me news right now?
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
So, in the middle of the pandemic, I nearly lost my mind and I had to take care of myself as me.
Yeah.
Like, Ernestine Simbi had to take care of GNL. You get me? That's when things are really real.
Yeah.
I was like, this is way too much information that I'm consuming. I'm nearly running mad.
Yeah.
I unfollowed every news channel and I unfollowed anything that was making me unhappy.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look on Twitter, I have about 9 people I'm following.
Yeah.
Just 9.
Yeah.
And I unsubscribed from New York Times, what. So I created an information island where if something is really, really important, someone will send it to me.
Yeah.
So I saw that picture. I saw the arrows and people cracking all sorts of jokes. But I'm proud of myself that I didn't know that was the president's funeral, actually.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they were all there.
Yeah.
So I got to learn about the LA fires in real time, but that's because a person who cares about me sent me an app to download and follow the fires.
Yeah.
But the other times, I would get so obsessed with an issue. I would be talking to people about what was discussed in whatever podcast, in whatever valley, and whose opinion I was following. It was driving me crazy, and I'd become so pessimistic. But right now, I'm an optimist. I wake up in the morning. You know, if it's really important, my family will tell me. You know, or I'll learn about it in a conversation. I'm proud of myself for that. So I didn't know that was Jimmy Carter's funeral. But thank you for telling me about now.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that people like Obama and Joe Biden call Trump the modern day Hitler at some point?
Oh, was that the memes?
Probably memes, let's say, but I'm sure Joe Biden has said some filthy things about, Trump. But then they had to come together and, have that ceremony together in honor of one of them. So that's why I was saying politics is a dirty game, but then you have to come and sit together with your enemy. But at least for the music industry, guys are like, nah, if so-and-so is there...
Enemies in quotes. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If it's a game being played,
Yeah.
we are the prey.
Yeah.
The gullible general public is the prey. All of these people are serving one thing, and that's their self-interest or their interest groups. You think there's a major difference between Obama and Trump? Okay, I love Trump. I love Trump. I love Obama.
Yeah.
You get me? But at the end of the day, you look at everybody's policies and what they were able to accomplish, and it's just to maintain an empire.
Yeah.
Basically, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Except the way everybody goes on about it is different, and the way their PR is done is different. All of these people, it's the same thing. It's a game. How well do you play the media game to sway the voters to your block?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Real leadership is service to community.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that lately in the US market, or in US politics.
Yeah.
Because look at everybody agrees, all the people agree on the ground that the health system needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So if everybody on the ground agrees, how come they're being constantly frustrated by the people who are supposed to give them the leadership?
Yeah.
That's by the Democrats and by the Republicans. This one offers Obamacare, the other people are raising. This one offers this, the other people do that. We are tired. We are really, really tired. Like I said, it is a game.
Yeah.
We are the prey. We are the game, actually. They're hunting game, right? We are the game right now.
Yeah.
When it comes to politics. I personally quit or said I would not participate in politics because I don't understand these people. I used to be in Uganda where I would see, I'm in Uganda now. But I remember one moment where we were at a certain hotel, right? And I was seated with one politician, right? And he said his friend was showing up, right? And when his friend showed up, to me, I thought these guys were like total enemies. So it was like political theater that these guys were playing in front of the cameras. and the populace was eating that shit up. Like, I had bought into their enmity. But these guys were high-fiving. They were talking about the girls they had. They were talking about the properties they were building. They were talking about... And I was like, wow. And the common people think that these people are there fighting for us. Nah. The politics just for that thing. Or your drama, I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you at the end of the day that there's a game being played here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cameron always claimed that Jimmy Jones is the reason Dipset broke up. You know, there was an issue there. But recently, him and 50, you know, were having a one-on-one, and 50 said he brought out Jimmy Jones just to break up Dipset, to mess it up.
50 did it?
Yeah, because he had an issue with Cameron then.
Really?
So he brought out Jimmy Jones.
So before we get into Cameron and them and their beef and 50 Cent admitting to promoting Jim Jones to break them up, this whole two-party system is the way they play on your heads.
Yeah.
Remember when the public voted Hillary to be their president and the whole popular vote was Hillary? Hillary won.
Yeah.
But the Electoral College was like, nah, Trump. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, we do.
Then you also remember when Al Gore and Bush.
Yeah.
When Al Gore won, but they gave us Bush.
Yeah.
Guys, at the end of the day, we have to admit we are being played here. Right? Aren't we being played here?
Politics is a...
Why can there be a third party? It's because the establishment and the families that actually rule these empires, they choose who they want to
control the wealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to Cameron and...
Do you guys remember the protests against Wall Street?
Yeah.
When people tried to occupy Wall Street so they could change something? When the bubble happened and, you know, these banks were lending out ridiculous money, but the government was bailing out the banks, but they never bailed out anybody on the ground level. It's a game of resources. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The iPhones you all have unethical ways that these, whether you admit it or not, there are unethical ways in which those cell phones are working for you. The way that they are mined from Africa, all these other regions, no matter where you are. It's who controls the resources, who controls the narrative, and there you have who you're painting evil this time and who you're painting the saint. And then those parts are interchangeable with every election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Well, like we say, Jimmy Jones, you know, came out and he was like, you know what?
What do you call him, Jimmy Jones? It's called Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Yes.
Ugandan vibe. Yeah.
Jimmy, eh?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah, well, yeah. Jim Jones was like, you know what? Those two guys should keep my name out of their freaking mouths.
Oh, they're having beef up to now.
You know, suddenly you could say, because remember the Dipset broke up.
Mm-hmm. So what did 50 Cent admit to?
50 Cent admitted to bringing out Jimmy Jones at a show just to create, because he had, you know, issues with Cameron then. They had their beef, you know.
Okay, let me say this in the nicest way.
Yeah.
Jim Jones is an industry whore. I hope I don't run him into in LA. But Jim Jones, at the end of the day... Okay,
why are you saying you hope you don't run into him?
He's a blood. He's admitted that he's a gang member.
Yeah.
You get me? And you know, this world is so small. I could say this shit right here, and then before you know it, I'm being surrounded by New Yorkers with Timberland stomping me on the floor. Yeah. Let me be careful. Let me retract it. Okay, now. Jim Jones. People need to know that the name Jim Jones, he gets that name from a cult leader. I don't know if you guys know that there was a Jim Jones who flew people, I don't know, to Central America, South America, and he murdered people in a field.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that story? So no, that's why that rapper gets his name.
Okay.
He gets leader.
Yeah.
So now, Cameron, why do I say he's an industry whore?
You say Jim Jones.
Jim Jones, yes. Jim Jones. Jim Jones has just recently started a beef with Pusha T because Drake brought him on stage. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Hey, he had no beef with this guy. That's because Drake's defeat by then was by Pusha T. He
Yeah.
started a beef. This guy only came to New York, brought him out on stage. Before you know it, he's climbing on Pusha T's clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't respect people like that. Like, there's no reason for you to have beef. Why are you creating one? So I think Pusha T responded by just, like, you guys are doing these ghetto shows. For me, I'm at Louis Vuitton. My boy Pharrell, you remember that?
Yeah.
My boy Pharrell is launching this line, and I'm the new face of Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
He didn't really respond to him. But at the end of the day, I say this to say, a crew like Dipset, led by Cameron, Jim Jones, and Joe Santana, right?
Yeah.
These guys have a respect in Harlem, right?
Yeah.
That how can a Queens guy influence your breakup?
Yeah.
So you let 50 Cent influence Jim Jones. To me, that just shows that Jim Jones has no center.
Yeah.
Whoever has the bread, the agenda.
Yeah.
Whichever. Like, how can you respect a person like that?
Yeah.
Is he a great artist? Artist. Like, if you compare him to people like the Pusha T's, the 50 Cents, like, he survives, but he's not Cameron level, he's not 50 Cent, he's not Kendrick, he's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, we know 50's character. He admitted to doing it intentionally to mess them up, to break up the
and they
whole
also
crew.
and they also say actually, like, before even 50 Cent, because 50 Cent is another wave.
Yeah.
Cameron and Jay-Z did not really have beef until Jim Jones was part of the picture.
Yeah.
Again, that there could have been a chance that Rockefeller could have said the same. They could have operated and made more money.
Yeah.
But when you have, there are certain people you should never bring around your core crew.
Yeah.
Because their energy is just for,
Yeah.
So to me, Jim Jones makes good music. Bowling is a very, very good song. But again, everything boils down to character. Everything boils down to character. Like, what's Jim Jones' character here? Yeah,
Jim Jones is always on some shit.
he's always on some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shout outs to Cameron, my namesake. It's
Ate
called
how?
Cameron Gills.
You're Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Gills.
It's called Ezekiel.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Cameron Diaz. Before you look like a fat banner boy.
Good. Really? Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Nigerian artists. So
If I'm familiar.
one of them called Asake.
Yes.
Fans.
Is it called Asake or Ashake?
Ashake.
Ashake, right?
Yeah, Ashake.
You with your Teso accent. You're making us look bad in these streets, my brother.
Ashake.
Yes, Sebo.
Well, fans were concerned about his look after he shared a video. He was in studio, and
You
you
know
may not have seen. I don't know if you saw the
I
video.
saw it.
You saw the video?
It was on Baboon Forest, so I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You guys shared it, but you know what?
Uh-huh.
When I saw that video, I was like, this is exactly what I'm planning to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really planning to also look like that.
Like Kodak Black.
Temunsekele, that guy wange.
First tattoo.
Like Kodak Black.
I won't go to first tattoo route. There are no tattoos on my body, actually. There are no tattoos on my body. But I was really thinking about, what's wrong with the look?
It was looking
What was
like
wrong?
Kodak Black.
What's wrong with Kodak Black?
He looks like he's on some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that junky kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and it's related to what artists go through, like stress and everything, so they end up like.
I thought about getting a face in my 20s. I thought about getting a face tattoo when I was in my 20s. But then I thought about what my 30-year-old self would think.
Yeah.
And then I also thought about what my 40-year-old self would think.
Yeah.
Then I also thought about what my 50-year-old self would think, and 60. I was like, you get me? Look, every time I see somebody with a face tattoo, or if I see somebody with a very, very distinct look, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, more power to them, na yeah. and I say this from my own perspective,
Yeah.
that for me, I change my mind so easily. I never want to get anything permanent.
Yeah.
Where the next week I'm going to be like, I can't rub this thing off.
Yeah.
So maybe I should be getting henna tattoos.
Well, somebody on social media said, do you guys realize that GNL has no tattoo on his body? It's like those artists who does not have any tattoo on his body. Yeah. And
But
so they also notice
I
these
respect
things,
face
the fans.
tattoos. I respect face tattoos. I respect body tattoos because going back to history, it's a form of storytelling.
Yeah.
Like you look at the Incas, these people, Warok, Java, those people from Poland. The tattoos really tell a story. You
Yeah.
get me? Like I respect them, but for me, I'm like, will I like this a week from now?
If you were to get a tattoo.
One time I was up here at a restaurant,
Yeah.
and I ordered fish, right? By
Yeah.
the time the food, and I was in the middle of a meeting, by the time the food came, I wanted chicken, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, pack this for me and bring me the chicken. By the time the chicken came, I wanted beef.
Yeah.
So I cannot have a tattoo. Otherwise, I watch together.
Yeah.
There's no commitment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to get a tattoo though, what would be for the first time? If you were to get a tattoo for the first time, if like you had to, what would be the tattoo?
I would draw a big monkey on my back in the middle of a forest. And it would be coded, right?
Yeah.
Like someone would be able to tell a story like from top to bottom or from bottom to top.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something really significant, but like something Bourbon Forests-ish.
Yeah. Interesting.
It has to be a way to the stars. You get me? Yes.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Well, we are nearly coming to the end of this. So, one of your friends, I would say dear friends, said this year is marking 20 years of him being in the as a manager and promoter. Can you guess the person?
Shadrach Nasa Kutesa, because he was asking me for pictures.
Straight up, yeah. That's why I call him one of your dear
He was
friends.
asking me for pictures, yes.
Yeah, so 20 years in the game as a manager and promoter. You also, I don't know whether this year, is it this year that you're making 20 years?
You guys are making me sound all day.
Yeah, but 20 years in the game is also something,
It's major.
that It's
Should
major.
we celebrate it?
Straight up, of course.
Okay, if you
Yeah.
guys say so.
Shadrach is celebrating 20 years, and he says that he's going to share his story in the coming,
Shadrach, the story of byesigalize. Twagala konsati. The story of byesigalize sebo. Twagala konsati. We share stories. No.
He said he'll share his journey.
Yes, the journey should be shared through music because it's a musical story. That's how I tell it. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Shadrach owned one of the first tattoo stores in Uganda.
Yeah.
So imagine being managed by someone who owns a tattoo parlor and you know what the tattoo name. You get me?
Yeah.
That's me right there. So Sade has a very unique story to tell.
Yeah.
But I don't think that story should just be shared online.
Yeah.
I think it should extend to a musical because at the end of the day, he's managing musical artists.
Yeah.
It should be music celebrated at the end of the day because he has had a very long, illustrious career. So most people know me and Keko, but they don't know there was Cindy, there was Michael Ross, there was, Hip Hop Canvas and so many other people. So it's a very, it's a very rich career.
Yeah.
The Twitter gave you social media.
Yeah, so
We become nedda. Organize for us a band. Let there be music, and let people give you these flowers. They have been growing.
yeah.
Yes.
So what's that one or two things you say about Shadrach that you think people may not really know about him?
Shadrach is a timekeeper.
Yeah.
People don't know that. But I started keeping time because this guy kept time.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, 8 o'clock. And then we would arrive like at 10:30. That guy is so pissed,
Yeah.
And then the next time He's like, hey, guys, 7:30. And we would arrive at 8. But the time kept on reducing until all of us were on the same page.
Yeah.
Now, I think the last time he said, you guys, 9 o'clock, sharp. You guys, you get?
Yeah.
Like he came in and he was so surprised. But for us, we were like, I was a teenager getting into my 20s, yeah? Like, you didn't just wake me up to be there for this meeting. I never saw the use because you're money manager.
Yeah.
You're money manager. I expect you to attend the meetings. I come through, sign the contract, or let the papers come to me when I wake up.
Yeah.
But I think we all developed a work ethic at the end of the day, and we got to understand we got to understand each other, because he told me that some deals would not close because people were my fans.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to show up physically.
Yeah.
Me, I would be like, but why am I showing up when I've spent the whole night in studio?
Yeah.
I've spent the whole night in studio. You want me to wake up at 7?
Yeah.
Sigenda kutuberayo. Okay, I'll tell you 7 sigenda kutuka at that time. So we'll all be trying our best. Sometimes we try to get these people to reschedule meetings or to. But at the end of the day, we both learned how the industry works, and we both grew, because he was also learning as a manager. I was learning as an artist. Later, we were all on the same page, and that's when things worked out the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes abera deal nga yabukadde atano, nga he just needs you to wake up at that time and meet that deal. You get me? So once that clicked and I understood it, our road was much easier.
Yeah, and speaking of showing up in person, I think it's a culture that has grown significantly, because I've witnessed it as well, that somebody will need the very person who may not even be the one to really negotiate the deal, but they're like, no, we want, if G does not show up, then we're not sure if it's really Baboon Forest or GNL that we're dealing with.
That's the thing, because that's Uganda.
Yeah.
And I think you and I have just gone through something where we invited an artist here, but just because it wasn't me that called him directly, he felt disrespected.
Yeah.
But in Hollywood, it's my people call your people.
Yeah.
And then we meet on the day when our people align our schedules.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you and I can talk about this and this forever.
Yeah.
Or I will tell you something and promise something when I'm supposed to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be directing something, shooting a kalango, or giving a lecture about something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to avoid all that disappointment and the mix-up, I say, let the person who manages the schedule call your people so that we can meet. But I don't know if it's an ego thing, or putategera industry wetambula, or even some cultural differences. Like in Uganda, people want you to show up physically to pick the deposit. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I've created an organization with managers and all these other people that them coming through with all the necessities does not necessitate me to be there, because that helps me serve all. Have more clients actually in a day.
Yeah.
I cannot come to you in Chikubo and make it to because traffic jam area umulaba. I cannot come to Chikubo and come to Mpererwe and whatever. But if I send my guys, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
But for most people, mo Uganda tuchalina mu ekintu ekya njagala mulabe yennyini.
Yeah.
I used to have an office like somewhere in town before we had this beautiful space, right?
Yeah.
Where people would go meet the manager, they shake hands, so I'd always have people knocking on my gate. I'm supposed to be resting, either me and this gentleman would be creating music. In the middle of all that, but I understand. That's the culture here. It's an African thing.
Yeah. Quite interesting, because all the other, artists who have come through, management called them up and, they responded. But to a particular one, they felt like, nah, if it's not him, it's not respectful enough,
It's not a thing about respect. It's a thing about efficiency.
Yeah.
It's a thing of you cannot be in 1,000 places at the same time.
True.
If I'm in the middle, like the whole day today, we have been having meetings.
Yeah.
And I want something else to happen.
Yeah.
I delegate that to somebody to give you the call.
Yeah.
So disrespect trying to handle 1,000 things and be more efficient,
Yeah. And effective.
Yeah. And effective, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. We've come to the end of this one. Till next time, it's been good to have you.
It's great to always be here. Thank you for having me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.